Providing care for those at the end of life can be one of the most challenging yet rewarding tasks in nursing. It requires healthcare providers to competently address and manage the broad array of clinical, emotional, moral, and spiritual issues that frequently arise in the dying process. It requires the healthcare team to address many ethical issues in the end of life decision making process. As nurses, we have a moral responsibility to respect the patient's wishes. Steps of the decision making model is as follows. Step 1. Gather the information about the diagnosis, prognosis, and treatment options. When this fails, step 2. Should life sustaining treatments be withheld? What are the patient wishes? Do they have a right to die, or should a family member make this decision? What does the advance directive say? Do they have one in place? Who is the durable power of attorney? Step 3. Try to address family conflicts. Set aside emotions. Be respectful to cultures and diversity issues. The most common principles currently applied in healthcare decision making is autonomy, the principle of self-determination, freedom of choice. Benevolence, the duty to do good and avoid harm, respectful and compassionate. Non-benevolence, the duty not to harm, not treat it as a means to an end. Fidelity, the making and keeping of promises. Right to know, the informed consent principle. Justice, the principle of fairness, treating people in similar circumstances, similarity, and non-discriminatory. Veracity, the principle of truth-telling and integrity. The hospice philosophy of focusing on treatment turns from cure to care to meet the needs of the patient from a physical, psychological, and spiritual point of view. This brings me to the principle of the double effect theory. It is often used to justify the use of high doses of narcotics to effectively treat patients in terminal illness. But it is argued that as nurses, we know that increases doses of narcotics like morphine produces unconsciousness and hastens death. And the double effect theory, one action is good and desired, and the second action is bad and not desired. This brings me to the case of the Diverger family, a strong, spirit-filled family. Roberta was the wife of a minister. Even though Roberta had yearly mammograms starting from the age of 35, all the tests were negative. But in reality, all the tests were false positive. Who do you blame? Sometimes women could have done everything correctly as far as daily health practices, but in the final analysis, everything has to be correct. The right tests, the right film versus digital film, the right timing, such as biannual exams versus annual exams, and most importantly, the radiologist who reads the exam. All of these factors can be the difference between life and death for women. She was diagnosed at stage 4 breast cancer with metastasized. She was treated aggressively with chemotherapy and radiation. To no avail, she died a very restless, painful death within 12 short months. The ethical questions arising from this untimely death were just too many to list. While the family was still arguing with the healthcare team to save her life, her last words to me, her nurse, before she took her last breath were, "I am not afraid of dying. I just want a little more time to spend with my family. But when I do die, I know it is going to be soon. I just want to make it to heaven."